Hello, my name is Malcolm Portia Love, and the era that I will be talking about today will be the Harlem Renaissance. And so, the reason why the Harlem Renaissance is my favorite era of all time during this class is because I admired the way that they carried themselves. I admired the way that they dressed. The mannerism was something that I really appreciate. I really like the way that they look, not to mention the music. And, this is the black community at one of our peaks. You know what I'm saying? Even today we are in our peak, but this is just one of our peaks that I really just like the most. Um, my most favorite author during that time would have to be Zora Neale Hurston. The reason why she was my most favorite author during that time is because she was really authentic, and she wrote about a lot of the things that I like to write about, a lot of the things that I like to concentrate on, a lot of the things that I'm interested in, because I am a sociology major, and she her work was centered around anthropology, and um, that's also something that I like, specifically cultural anthropology, and that's really why I like her stuff, the things that she did. She was just really an interesting person. She was very sacred. She was different from everybody else. You know what I mean? And so that's what I really liked about her. She was unique, very authentic person. Um, the most interesting aspects of those writers and those eras and the times that they lived in. Um, the most interesting aspect of Zora Neale Hurston to me was um, her initiation. And not everybody knows about this, but she has a book called Mules and Men. It's this one, where she talks about her initiation into an African spiritual tradition. And so I personally feel that is the most interesting aspect, because not everybody talks about their initiations and spiritualities through in a book. You know what I'm saying? So I really thought that was a very interesting aspect of her spiritual life, because she didn't really share much of her personal life. So her spiritual life was most definitely a very interesting aspect, in my opinion. Um, Things that I discovered that were really intriguing to me would have to be where she was born. I believe where she was born was actually a predominantly black town that was sunken, excuse me, that was sunken. It's called Notasulga, Alabama. I'm pretty sure that was a historically black town. Not to mention, when she was young, she also moved to Eatonville, Florida, which is also a historically black town, where the black people were successful and thriving and they owned the land. I think that is most intriguing about her, where she comes from, her background. Um, yeah, that's what I find most intriguing. I find really everything intriguing about Zora Neale Hurston, to be honest, which is why she's my favorite. Um, the impact that the writers had in that time period. The impact that she had was really about nonconformity. Being the fact that Zora Neale Hurston she was around a lot of, like, LGBT persons, and she talked about the things that people wanted to avoid during that time. And she has an impact on me because that's the type of person that I am. Because for as long as things go unaddressed and not talked about, that can be really problematic for everybody. So that's what I really liked, and that has a great effect on our world today, because when you don't address things, that's what prevents progress. So that's what I really like about her. She promoted progress. She promoted, pulling out everything that's done in the dark, always comes to light. And that's the type of person that she was, especially writing this book. This book is a great book. um, uh, how's this era shaped today's world, and how's it impacted? Yes, it has impacted. A lot of the mannerisms that people even have today, they got from the 20s. A lot of women's and men's inspirations today are people and celebrities from the 1920s. The way that people carry themselves, the elegance, the mannerisms that they have from that time, they still carry today, because of, they were just so graceful. They were so elegant, you know what I'm saying? And they were really articulate people, you know what I'm saying? they saw the value in themselves and in their lives, and that's very inspiring to us. So that's really how it impacted today's world, you know. They are still relevant. Zora Neale Hurston is relevant amongst all the other Harlem Renaissance authors because they sparked a match. They lit a match to Black history, to Black culture, to a different time. You know what I'm saying? This is post-slavery. This wasn't too long after slavery. And they're sitting here doing this, being what they said we couldn't. You know what I'm saying? Successful, rich, authors, smart, the most brilliant people. You know what I'm saying? So they're really relevant to us as Black people because living in this country, not much is expected of us as a people. You know, and during this time, their grandparents were literally slaves. Like their grandparents. Like that's not far of a generation for them. So them being who they are during that time was the most amazing thing. You know what I'm saying? So being that we descend from these people and we are still here and we're still thriving, that's what makes them relevant in history today. That's what's so amazing. So yes, thank you for this assignment, for this opportunity, I guess you say. I really like this assignment because I really am fascinated with Zora Neale Hurston and this book. It's on Amazon. I believe it's like $15. I really recommend. But yes, thank you so much.